Two farmers create rectangular pens for their livestock. Farmer Blue has 240 linear feet of fencing for his pen, and Farmer Green has 300 linear feet of fencing for his pen. The areas of their pens are shown in the graph below, with the blue graph representing Farmer Blue's pen and the green graph representing Farmer Green's pen. Write a polynomial to express how much more space Farmer Green's livestock will have than Farmer Blue's. If both farmers construct rectangular pens with widths of 75 feet, how much more space will Farmer Green's livestock have than Farmer Blue's livestock? So let's start by writing an equation based off the information that we know. So we know that Farmer Blue has 240 linear feet of fencing. And we also know it's a rectangular pen. And so, if he has that many linear feet, that would be the perimeter. That would be basically perimeter in math terms of his pen, basically the fencing that would surround the pen. And so we know that the perimeter of a rectangle is 2L plus 2W, or 2 times length plus 2 times the width. In this case, let's just use x and y since we have that graph over there. So we can say 2x, where x is the width, plus 2y, where y is the length, will equal his perimeter, which is 240. And so we know that much, but we're actually trying to write a polynomial to show the amount of space inside the pen. And so to find, that's basically area, right? And so to find the area, we'll just call, say that's area, that's going to be length times width, so x times y. So if we want to write an equation for this, a polynomial, we need it all in terms of x, just one variable. And so because we have this other equation and this other information, we could actually solve the first one for y and then plug it in so that it's in terms of x in the second. So what I mean by that, we can go ahead and take this guy and solve for y. So we can subtract 2x on each side. So we have 240 minus 2x equals 2y, and then solve for y, divide by 2 on each side. So we have y equals 240 divided by 2 minus 2x divided by 2. Simplifying that, 240 divided by 2 is just 120, minus 2 divided by 2 is just 1, so that's x equals y. And so now we know that y is just, in terms of x, that's just 120 minus x. So we can go ahead and plug that exact thing into the area. And so instead of putting area, since we want a polynomial, let's just call it b of x. So that's Farmer Blue's area. And then we have x times, and now instead of y, we're going to put 120 minus x. Okay, and so we can go ahead and distribute that to make it a little bit more simple. So x times 120 is 120x, and then x times negative x is negative x squared. And in standard form, that would be negative x squared with the highest degree first plus 120x. All right, now going on to Farmer Green's pen, then we can do a similar thing. So Farmer Green has 300 linear feet, and then so that again is the perimeter, so 2x plus 2y. And then we again want to know the area of his pen, which will again be x times y. And so we can do the same thing so that we can write it all in terms of x. So solve for y in the first equation. So first subtract 2x on each side. So 300 minus 2x equals 2y. Then divide by 2 everywhere. So we get 300 divided by 2 minus 2x divided by 2 equals y. So 300 divided by 2 is 150. Minus 2 divided by 2 is 1. So x equals y. So again, we can just take that exact thing and plug it in for y. So we get the area. So we'll just call this g of x for Farmer Green. His area will be x times 150 minus x. And so we can distribute there. So x times 150 is 150x. X times x is negative x squared. And writing that in standard form, that'd be negative x squared plus 150x. So there are the two polynomials for Farmer Blue and Farmer Green. And so then it asks us, though, to write a polynomial of how much more space Farmer Green's livestock will have than Farmer Blue's. So Farmer Green has more than Farmer Blue, and we want to know how much more. So we can just take the bigger one, subtract the smaller one, and that should give us the difference. So g of x minus b of x will equal negative x squared plus 150x minus negative x squared plus 120x. So simplifying that out, we get negative x squared plus 150x minus negative x squared, that's just plus x squared, and then minus 120x. So the x squared is canceled, negative x squared plus x squared is added to 0, and then 150x minus 120x just gives us 30x. And so the difference between the two will be 30x. And so then it asks us if both farmers construct rectangular pens with widths of 75 feet, how much more space will Farmer's Green livestock have than Farmer Blue's livestock? And so what we can do then is we can just take our equation that we just found, 30x, which is the difference. So 30 times 75 is 2,250 feet squared. And so that is the difference between the two farmers, the areas of their pen. And so let's just summarize our answer there. Farmer Green's livestock will have 2,250 square feet more area than Farmer Blue's livestock.